Wait, hold on, Joel. Didn't you have the internet problems?
I used to, but now
Shut
apparently
up, Joel,
I'm not.
and welcome to the weekly poll.
Motherfucker, he's getting better with those.
He is.
He's
It's really
actually
good.
Getting better.
It's true.
It's
I
been like
hate to
3
admit
years,
it, but he's
3
getting
years.
better.
You've fallen for that.
The fact that we're going bi-weekly now means he has time to write and prepare and workshop and focus group.
Yeah.
I focus group.
It's not bad.
My bait for Joel. All right, guys. Welcome to the weekly poll. I am Benny. I run the YouTube channel known as Comicstorian. That is Sal. He runs the YouTube channel Comic Pop. And that is Joel. He runs the YouTube channel Caped Joel. This is the podcast where Rob from Comics Explained joins us occasionally. But today he is not going to be here as he has plans up in Denver, which is a kind of a long trip to make if you're going to Denver. It's in the way. And there isn't a ton of news to go over this week. So it wasn't like a huge, like, oh, you have to be here week. We're just going to pretty much talk about C2E2 stuff. So C2E2 is the Chicago Comic-Con. It is one of the big, like we have a few every year where they do most of the big announcements. It's WonderCon, C2E2, it's San Diego, we have Baltimore, and then we have New York.
New York Comic-Con, yeah. I mean, like, and really, C2E2 has become, like, it took the place that New York Comic-Con took from San Diego as being one of the premier, like, hey, this is about actual comics.
Yeah.
It's like Emerald City and C2E2 that give a shit.
They're the ones the writers really like, too, is the other thing.
Yeah, no, and that's pretty much where it's all been. And thank you guys so much for those subscriptions over here on the Weekly Poll podcast. We have Ham and Cheese 97 for 5 months in a row.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Ham and Cheese. I like your sandwich.
There it is. John Apocalypse is 4 months in a row.
Nice.
And John Apocalypse would like me to repeat, splooge, Sal.
Thanks, John. It's true. I mean, you know.
Okay. Well, it's not a huge. Is there an official health report on Stan Lee? The last I heard was that Todd McFarlane went to go see him. I don't know if you saw us. So let's start with that. Then we'll go to C2E2 because there isn't a ton of C2E2. And thank you, Laddie Jupiter, for that 26 months in a row. So anyway, Stan Lee, it was posted on Todd McFarlane's Instagram. He had a sit-down with Todd McFarlane and said he seemed to be in good health as well as a 95-year-old man could be. Stan thanked him for being there. Everything seemed fine from what he saw. Was there more since then?
Well, yeah. Let's parse the McFarlane appearance.
2 hours ago. No, it was 2 hours ago. Something.
Oh
else.
Yeah, no. There's huge stuff. Like it's,
big article.
With respect to the McFarlane thing, I'll just say it was very brief. Like he only could see him for an hour. It was under like, and it looked like, you know, if like everybody was kind of saying like, oh, this is great. Like McFarlane's kind of confirming it, but for those of us who've been kind of like scrutinizing the whole thing, it feels more like his current caregivers are going like, shit, apparently hiding one of the most prolific comic book creators in all time behind closed doors when normally he's like out and in public and running his own social media and stuff makes us look really bad. So like, let's allow certain key people who won't probably upset the apple cart to talk to him for very, very small amounts of time and like monitor and heavily control the amount of interactions people have. So like, yes,
that's what I thought too, because I thought it was weird when Todd was like, I got 1 hour with him. Like,
yeah, like McFarlane has an hour. Like, cool, but also like, why only an hour? Why didn't we get like any like confirmation? Because you can imagine like if Stan had heard any of the shit that went on and McFarlane got to talk to him, he would have been like, by the way, like, you know, like I had horrible diarrhea. I didn't want anyone to know about it. Please don't like, you know, ruin my pristine like image. You know, like I get that, but it was literally just like you could see him, you could prove he's alive, and the comic book community seems to be the only community that gives a shit about his health. So like a comic book guy can talk to him. Like Kevin Smith is not allowed inside.
Yeah, no, exactly. For those of you guys who don't know, who aren't tracking the situation, Stan Lee went in for a pneumonia about 3 months ago, and since then he seemingly have gone off the grid. And money's gone missing. He's reported up to $1.5 million has been stolen. No one can talk to him. His Twitter and everything has suddenly gone totally PR based. And the assumption is that there's his blood has been stolen and put on comic books. There is talks basically that there's elder abuse going on. Somebody's trying to take all of his money, and that's it. So for those of you guys who may be just talking like, oh, I just started, this is the current status.
Right.
Todd McFarlane went in. He said everything is good, but like Sal said, it was for 1 hour, and only 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see Real Zoobs is in the chat. She can jump in at any time.
Yeah, I told her to jump in, but I
Okay.
think we may have to add her, so I'll just add her to the call.
Okay. So according to this article, in the months after Jones... Hey, Tiff!
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
Hello.
In the months after Jones' death, Lee has come down with pneumonia, and multiple outlets have reported that many financial woes are allegedly stemming out of bad business deals made with partners claiming to have Lee's confidence. While all of this has been happening, there's been official word from Lee's camp itself addressing the reports of his poor health and his rumored money problems. But according to a new report from The Hollywood Reporter, Lee was attempting to protect his finances as recently as the past February. In a document stated February 13th, which was notarized in front of Lee's former lawyer, Tom Lallis, Lee specified the names Dorado Jerry Olivares, a one-time business associate of his daughter, JC, and Lee's current guardian and caretaker, Kaya Morgan, and JC's attorney, Kirk Schneck, as people with bad intentions.
Right.
We knew about the business associate of JC, his daughter. We knew that whole charity that his daughter was involved in was, like, bad news. We knew that was already a case.
It sounded fake. It sounded like the human fun from Seinfeld.
Yeah. So we already knew about that, but apparently he signed a document that stated that this was a problem. The document goes into detail about Lee's fraught relationship with his 67-year-old daughter, detailing her impulsive fits of rage and alleging that she spends tens of thousands of dollars a month all on Lee's dime. Oh!
I did not hear about that.
Despite his attempts to curtail her. The document details how, in 2014, JC allegedly shoved her mother and choked Stan Lee after being told a new Jaguar, at least in Lee's name, was not going to be hers. The document also claims that Olivares, Morgan, and Schneck insinuated themselves into relationships with JC for ulterior motive and purpose to take advantage of Stan Lee and gain control over his assets, property, and money. When the Hollywood Reporter confronted Morgan with the document, the veracity of which has not been denied, he responded with a video recording of Lee in which he describes him as totally incorrect, inaccurate, misleading, and insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Said Stan Lee in the recording, "I want to say as desperately as I can that my relationship with my lovely daughter, JC, is wonderful. My relationship with my good friend Kaya Morgan is great. We are best friends." What's most alarming and disconcerting about the Hollywood Reporter's account of Lee's certain circumstances is that Lee's communication has now been supposedly controlled by Morgan and Olivares, who has been directly involved in multiple business deals and transactions that have led to Lee spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. In addition to buying a condo valued at $850,000 using funds that Lee once claimed had gone missing, Olivares was also involved in Hands of Respect, a for-profit business that once sold commemorative pens using Lee's name, which JC claims has yet to pay the Lee family any money. Hands of Respect was also named as one of the organizations trying to sell comic books signed with ink containing blood that, according to a report from TMZ, was allegedly stolen from Lee after an individual close to Lee provided his nurses with a falsified document ordering a blood draw.
Yeah. So it's like getting the stories had gone from being like concerning to being like downright ghoulish.
Yeah.
I didn't really even understand the degree through which his daughter was involved, only to presuppose that she was not mentioned in any of the normal discussions about her. Like whenever anybody said like, "What's going on? Where's his daughter?" That's all I've heard. But now hearing that like there's been some history, there's been some alleged accusations. I'm starting to get a clearer picture, a clearer, more depressing picture of what's going on.
Also, real quick, thank you so much for that 24 months in a row, Decepticon 690. He now has his Batman sub badge.
Oh, nice. Thanks, man.
Yeah. The link to that article in the chat. Sure, I can do. Oh, I closed it already. But go, Benny. I'll pull it up.
Google.
Yeah. It was IO Hollywood IO Gizmodo. There you go.
Oh, okay.
From an hour ago. So we're not that behind, guys.
No, and the fact is, like, the updates have gone through where it's like, the blood thing was one of the most recent ones, but then we saw actual footage and like firsthand accounts of Lee's appearance at it wasn't C2E2, it was like Dallas.
Yeah. The Dallas Fan Expo.
The Dallas Fan Expo this past weekend, where he had he was beyond lethargic. He was exhausted. He wasn't able to spell his own name. We had people in the line for they oversold tickets. He was overworked and under-rested. He was falling asleep in lines. You can actually just look at the pictures of the professional photos that people take with him, where he's draped in a blanket and he just looks tired and haggard, and it's really, really depressing and sad. And that made it that helped exacerbate the outrage.
Let me play devil's advocate on this. I 100% believe these people are taking advantage of him. I do.
Right.
But what are the chances of he's just a 95-year-old man?
I mean,
He's not
there's
coherent.
100%.
He doesn't know what's happening. He's exhausted. I have a grandmother who's pushing upper 80s at this point, who at times thinks that my family is trying to take things from her. She lives she lives under care now with us. But depending on the bout, sometimes she has these moments where she thinks everyone's trying to take advantage of her. I'm not saying I disbelieve, because it sounds like everything lines up with it actually being taken advantage of. But what about the chances that Stanley is just an elderly man and he's just seeing things?
Good question. I mean, I'll say something really quick, and then I got to run and grab something. So I'll let Tiffany talk, and then Joel talk. But on 100%, he is old, and under the best of circumstances, it could be that any of these reports are made worse by the fact that we're dealing with a person who has lived far beyond the normal life expectancy of an American who's been working this hard.
Yeah. I mean, the dude's been working until 95. He hasn't stopped.
Right. And that's understandable. Comparing him, and like you said, when you're dealing with an elderly loved one, they were comparing footage from this year from Dallas to last year at Dallas, and I'm like, whoa. 1 year's time for a 95-year-old is apples and oranges. You can't look at how he felt a year ago and how he felt this year and say, oh, it's night and day. It is night and day. He's pushing 100.
Yeah.
So that's fair. These other reports, the blood thing, things that can't be refuted but are also couched with cynicism or with sinisterhood and ghoulishness makes it all the more damning, I think.
There's a lot of things that basically confirm that he's being taken advantage of. And one of our chatters in Twitch even said maybe it's a little from column A, a little from column B, and that might be the case, but it's quite obvious that he is being taken advantage of. What I don't understand is why is there nothing to stop it? And I know, Tiffany, I cut you off. You go right ahead. What do you have?
No. Sal just assumed I had something to say.
Oh.
The fact is, I have a coworker who, her husband's mother is elderly, and she has the beginnings of some dementia, and so she often thinks that people are trying to take things from her. But she has her bouts, she's in and out, right? But because of that, she needs to be cared for. You know what I mean? This woman's not working anymore, and her caregivers are carefully selected, and the family's heavily involved to make sure that A, that she's comfortable and she knows that everything's going to be okay, and B, that no one actually is taking advantage of her. So even if it is something like dementia, if it is something like Alzheimer's, if it's something else we don't even recognize is happening to him, it's irresponsible of his caregivers to being allowing him to go to cons, regardless if he wants to or not.
Yeah.
And the fact is, there's a point where you got to tell somebody no. You can't do that anymore because you could hurt yourself.
Yeah, and I agree. That's kind of the problem, because these are the caregivers. He's 95. At this point, he's done. Let the man retire and be gone. Why is he still going to these things? Once his wife passed away, I feel like that should have been all right, guys, I think I'm done with the travel. I'm going to take what little time I have left to spend with my family. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Yes. Now, of course, there's the other side to that some people think that it's if you keep someone mentally, challenged, and if a person keeps working even when they're older, it gives them something to live for. And in terms of when, say, they lose a significant other that they've had for so long, it can be a good thing to keep them working. But it's the long con hours, and if you overbook tickets, that is taking advantage of him. That is 100% working him too hard. It's one thing to have him show up, be somewhere, maybe take a couple of pictures if he'd like to do that, and then be now he has to go. I'm sorry. And it's only he can't fly beyond a certain point, it's just, regardless of if people are actually stealing from him or not, the people who are in charge of his current schedule are not taking into account his current health, or they don't care, or they're just but he wants to do it. It's but sometimes it's okay.
Silicon Valley Comic Con. Okay, because
there you go.
Stanley. I'm trying to find pictures of this from last week. There. Actually, it's a top search, so. So, I mean, the whole situation is sad. I kind of do
Yeah.
think it's maybe a little from column A, a little from column B. You don't get that old to be 100% coherent, but at the same time, he shouldn't be allowed to go at all. Like, oh, I'm looking at he's expressed concern over his health. He looks like an old man who's like doesn't even know where he is.
That's exactly right. He looks like he doesn't know where he is, and it's like if he was surrounded by people who didn't have a vested interest in his proliferation and in his like financial, enhancement.
I'm gonna link one of these images. Look at this, like a fan getting a photo with him.
Yeah, there's like 100 just like it, and they're each progressively more depressing. And it's like, yeah, you would hope that your loved one is being cared for and not exploited like it seems to be.
This is
so
sad.
yeah.
This is really
It's
sad.
really sad.
The Bleeding Cool article
really
that I just
bummed
linked.
me out.
I linked the article that has all those photos and stuff on there.
Yeah. It's
tragic.
It's really bumming me out.
Yeah,
Well,
and the sad part is we just have to watch this happen because there's nothing we can do.
No, exactly. Like we can't just we can't storm his house and like kick in the door and say like Stanley deserves justice. Like he does, but I can't like give it to him.
Yeah, I don't have an answer to this. I feel kind of bad for the fans. They're all like, "Yeah, Stan Lee," and he's like, doesn't even know he's there. Like,
yeah,
And like everybody's being screwed because like they're paying $150 for a special ticket of a meet and greet or a photo, and like so they're getting screwed too because like they expected to meet Stan Lee, and if he's selling tickets, they expect him to be like awake, and it's like if he isn't, I saw a lot of accounts, people saying like if I had known he was in this state, I would never have done it.
yeah,
Which of course.
yeah.
Which of course his handlers and caretakers are like, yeah, that's why we didn't let you know that. Like,
The whole thing is just sad. Like, I don't even have a comment on it.
no, it just sucks.
Yeah. Oh,
Because you imagine, because you picture your own loved ones in that situation.
yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
I'd be outraged. Like, you know?
Okay. Let's move on to. There's nothing to say about this. There really isn't. I mean, we discussed this in length like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah,
we did.
Like, it sucks. We know, and like we will keep talking about it if it's still a thing. I would like to only report like good news. Unfortunately, we don't keep getting any, but anyway, really sucks.
People in the chat are asking, want to have a Change.org position because Change.org doesn't do anything.
No, it does not.
I've never heard of a Change.org actually working.
No, I appreciate the sentiment, and I'm sure that were he able to appreciate it himself, he would. But it doesn't do much. The only thing you can do really is just support those who seek to help him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that avenue is. I'm looking forward to finding out if someone smarter than us will let us know how we can. I don't know. I would just I will
retract that. I found a list of Change.orgs that did work.
Okay.
They do exist.
Fair enough.
Hot damn.
I know. Adults in youth sports now required to report sexual abuse. National Massage Store changes policies to protect customers. But a lot of these are small. They're not a Change.org to let us in to change the law for Stan Lee isn't going to work.
yeah.
Bill of Rights for sexual assault survivors becomes federal law thanks to Change.org. That's kind of impressive.
That is impressive.
A lot of these also sound like no-brainers. A lot of these are like, why was that not a law before?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
There was a Change.org for women World War II pilots getting burial rights in Arlington National Cemetery.
Oh.
Like you said, a lot of these are things that are common sense. Anyway, let's move on to better topics, okay?
Right.
There's nothing more. There's nothing more to say at this point. We've said it in length previously. It's sad, but this is what happens. It is.
Not all the time, but and in an ideal world, it shouldn't. And absolutely, he should have had a support network in place to prevent these things from happening. But this can happen to anybody. I've heard 100 horror stories just like it from people who just like us.
Oh, yeah.
Who are like, my aunt was not my aunt, but hypothetically, my aunt was taken advantage of. My grandparents were taken advantage of. It sucks.
Oh, yeah. It certainly doesn't help though that he literally wrote some of the most moral and uplifting characters that taught a lot of us for right from wrong. To have this happen to him now, it's just a slap in the face.
Yes.
It is. All right, C2E2 happened this weekend.
Right.
I wanted to talk primarily about the Batman panel. Marvel, from what I can see, didn't announce very much, but they did have a few things they brought up, one of which I got really excited about because I had to record the segment for Comics Tonight today. And I got really excited about the discussion. I'll bring it up right now. New Avengers by Jason Aaron, Black Panther. Yep. It was Black Panther. I don't remember the other guy, but Robbie Reyes, the Ghost Rider, is going to be our point of view character.
Cool. Okay.
Because he's young, he's fresh, he's new.
They're also like riding high on Ghost Rider right now. You can't throw a rock without hitting a Ghost Rider right now.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the Avengers team is not Venom, Ghost Rider.
Well, you could have two Ghost Riders. Well, not one right now, but
I don't know where
we can fix place.
Where's the symbiote Ghost Rider? Because you know that's right. It's got to be like the next thing.
That was in the Venomverse.
They had that. Yes, they had that.
They had that.
Right, but he's not in the main universe as a main character. Like.
Yeah. Give it time.
For those of you guys who are wondering, the C2E2 is the Chicago Comic Con. It's one of I would say 5 big ones in the year that we get a lot of news in normally, but this year was kind of light.
Yep.
But yeah, so we get that. The Fantastic Four are coming back. They announced that. Let me pull that interview too. Marvel, C2E2, CB.
Which is awesome, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, no kidding.
Right. Yeah, we heard. That said, it also released when they announced that Dan Slott's taken over for Fantastic Four, it was like, yeah, that makes sense. He's great, and he'll do a great job as long as he doesn't stay on it for 12 years.
Oh, I know. I think that was his problem. Spider-Man was great at first, and then it just came. I don't know if this is true or not, but someone hit me up and said that there was a tweet that he put out that he only stayed on Spider-Man despite the people trying to get rid of him.
I believe it.
And to reach 800 and to have the longest tenure of any Spider-Man writer.
Yeah,
but that's just, he's a New Yorker. Of course he did that. Come on.
Yeah. That said, though, I'm like, we who are reading Marvel 2-in-1 are like, I wish Zdarsky was writing it though, because
I
this
haven't
Marvel
read 2-in-1 and everyone says it's great.
It is
really good.
It is legit Fantastic Four comics, and it's like it's the most quintessentially Marvel comic out right now.
Is it fantastic?
It is legit fantastic. And I hate Zdarsky's characterization of Peter Parker, except for the most recent arc, where it goes back in time, I'm enjoying this shit.
Dude, I 100% agree. The recent arc I'm like, oh, this is not, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It was great up until let's time travel.
The time travel got me. I was like, oh, I like this, and we'll see where it goes. If it really just if it sticks the land, okay. If it sticks the landing, I will give Zdarsky an open mouth kiss,
and he'll take you up on that offer.
He probably would actually.
Sal says that with confidence because he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm never going to run into him.
Not only that, he will not call me on that, and also most of the time they don't.
Little did you know, Zdarsky's a big fan. He's like, I see that open mouth kiss and I raise you.
Yeah, he's like, see you in New York, Sal.
You're like, uh-oh.
I'm like, oh yeah, you wrote Sex Criminals. I feel like you probably would be down for that. Damn it. Uh-oh.
Oh yes. And we'll be there documenting the whole thing.
That'd be fine. All right. That would certainly be the thing that shuts my mouth right afterwards.
Everyone would be talking about it. It would go viral. Did you hear about this YouTuber?
It would be the highlight of New York.
But I have to say that it actually did stick the landing. It's not that everyone else tells. I have to, and I promise I won't lie and be like, nope, he didn't do it because I don't want to be one of those not gays. No, I really do. I would totally do.
What a smart idea to have consequence-free time travel and just be like, hey, let's do whatever.
Yeah, I'm down. I love it. No, it's just cheat codes. And even then, but there's new problems that arise from it. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just read it. I don't want to ruin it. But
don't ruin it. Don't do it.
I won't. I'm not gonna.
So
yeah.
Other Marvel things that ended, I guess, sort of recently that I'm enjoying, that have nothing to do with Doctor Strange, because man, but I've really liked the little mini series that they did, the Spirits of Vengeance. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had a really good time with that.
That finally ended. I read the first 2 issues. It
got
better.
They only did 5. Right. It was supposed to be an ongoing, then they're like, never mind, it's 5. So just 5. But
and Victor Gischler, who wrote it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him, but he's done a bunch of stuff.
There you go.
And he's going to talk to you.
Nice. And to the questions in the chat about Damnation, yeah, I am not a fan of that. I don't know if it's a Kate's problem or a Spencer problem or a me problem. I just don't like it. Like, I'm like, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to see what happens. But like, there's too many things that happen because it has to happen for the story to happen, and not enough it happens because it makes sense for the character.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Strange resurrects an entire town, I'm like, that's
Sure
not,
does.
No, first of all, he doesn't do that. Second of all, he like doing that in the wake of what happened with the Empirical. I think not. I think not. Like you just needed that to happen so you could tell your story. Be creative and come up with some other reason.
But hey, Ghost Rider became the king of hell, which I think is that gonna stay? So that's why Robbie can be the main Ghost Rider moving forward. Because
I don't know, and like if so, it's a shame because the fact is that like in Spirits of Vengeance, it was just fun to have him there. Like, hey, check out like Johnny Blaze and Blade and Satana and Hellstrom working together. That's cool. Also, way to make Hellstrom like a refined Constantine of this universe. I really enjoyed that.
I've always liked Hellstrom.
I know, and I enjoyed like going into that like macabre part of the Marvel universe, and then like Damnation's just like, no, shut up. You don't like those things. I'm like, but I do.
Damnation is like the summer blockbuster equivalent, is what I would say.
If it is, then it has failed on every level to be a blockbuster.
Fair enough.
At least it's just trying to be.
Right, it was like, here's some cool images of like, characters as Ghost Riders. I'm like, okay.
Right, but why though?
I could like search any Tumblr and like find the same thing by other artists, but like you need to make it make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Spirits.
Apropos that, by the way, news that came out of C2E2 regarding the Justice League, they're saying that the magic of the DC universe is about to be like, there's going to be a huge magic push in DC.
Seems to be.
And it's going to be right up your alley. Like, let me see if I can actually pull up the article that Scott Snyder talks about.
Yes.
Are they going to explain it finally? Are they
Wait,
going to
Scott
explain
Snyder?
how it works?
He's gonna.
Wow. Scott Snyder is pushing it.
You made my voice go away.
I know, sorry. He said, and I quote, something happens in Justice League No Justice that completely upends magic, and the people that created magic on Earth come back to get it.
Oh, so the Lords of Order, maybe?
Something comes out of the source wall that's going to come and try and take magic from Earth.
So they're like gonna do the Jason Aaron Empirical
It's
story.
the last days of magic for DC.
That's okay. You know what? I'm okay with that because I really enjoyed that story, and it wouldn't be fun to see the other characters dealing with it. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. So
I would love to see, like, to have them force the magic characters to work together again. I mean, I know they've worked together before, but like, it hasn't been in a bit. I know they're doing that like DC Mystic U book, but like that's not quite the same thing, Like,
right.
I love watching John Constantine have to work with anybody else who has magic and is not like him. I love it.
Yeah. It's funny, like, I feel like because of Justice League Dark and because of that awful animated movie and because of a bunch of other things that we've seen Constantine and Batman like hang out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I really kind of want to see like a Superman Batman-esque series, maybe only 12 issues, but like of Batman and Constantine going on magic adventures.
I guess.
I just feel like that'd be kind of fun.
They had something close to that, didn't they? Have like paranormal PD in Gotham, but it was the Spectre instead of Constantine.
I don't remember that series.
It was very short-lived, Mike.
Oh yeah, they're doing Batman Damned, which is literally what I'm talking about. Never mind.
That's right.
Oh, it's happening. But I think it's written by Brian Azzarello, so it'll be fucking miserable.
I don't care. I'm reading it, and I'm gonna have a good time, and I'm just gonna flood it in your face.
Just as Azzarello did have a Hellblazer runs.
Yeah.
I hope I have a good time.
I hope you don't like superheroes, because that's the only way you're going to enjoy this book.
Well, Constantine doesn't, so if we tell it through the eyes of Constantine, it makes sense.
There you go. Okay.
Will certainly be what it's happening. Batman's name might be on the title, but you better believe it's a Constantine.
That's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be literally just Brian Azzarello being like, what if I were thinner? What if I were younger and more like, and more active?
And had more hair.
Like, what if I just shaved and lived with Batman? How much of a dick would Batman? And he would be. It would just be straight up. So, yeah, I guess that'll be the book.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. Plus, it'll be like in its own thing, or unless people really like it, in which case it'll be part of the universe and everything.
I know Benny's not back. We are eventually going to talk about the panel, but
Yes.
I leading up to that and on like something that I was just kind of like, that's neat, but it's in a long line of comic book wedding dresses. It's Catwoman's wedding dress.
Yes.
Let's talk about this.
What'd you guys think of it?
I don't know. I like it. I think I like it more than Storm's wedding dress when they announced that like 10 years ago. I like the idea of the black being incorporated in some way.
Yeah.
I feel like it's trying too hard.
Like Tom King's run in general?
I mean,
See,
if I felt like, I don't know if Tom King is trying too hard or not trying hard enough. Either way,
it goes back and forth.
But the dress it's something. I don't know if I really like it or dislike it. I'm just like, it didn't elicit any emotion from me whatsoever. And when I saw the woman cosplaying it, I actually liked it less than I liked the art of it.
Oh, interesting. Hang on just real quick, because Benny's not here. I'll take care of this one. Thank you so much to Just Another Bro for their 8-month subscription in a row. He says,
Yes.
always love supporting this community. P.S. Heart to Comic Pop and Cape Joel.
Thank you.
Very
That's
nice.
a bro move. Thank you.
Very
You're
nice.
not just another bro to us. You're our bro. Just
That's
another
right.
bro.
That's right.
It's true. Bro
What'd you think about it, Joel?
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting look for her. I will say I'm more interested to see how it's going to go because Jolene Jones is now going to be doing a now brand new solo series for Catwoman, spinning out of it, and she's wearing that on the cover, and it's all kind of messed up and everything.
Right.
Mhm.
For me, seeing it, I thought it was kind of on trend, and that seems to be what happens every time a comic book character gets married. Whoever is currently going to be the artist who designs the dress pulls from current trends. That is a current trend in wedding dresses to bring color into it. Naturally, for Catwoman, it would be the black. I think it's fine. I think it's very modern. I think it fits with her sensibilities. I'm actually kind of surprised it's long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's part of me that, like, I'm like, wow, there was some tradition in with the dress, but I think it works. I think it's lovely.
I don't know if Martha would like it, but I still think it's. I mean, she'd be like, ooh, or maybe she would. Maybe she'd be like, ooh, like what a feisty lady Bruce has got. Like,
Right?
but I feel like she might be like, a little much.
Right? Well, it definitely, and I think the person cosplaying it, I think her material is probably a little different than what the dress is meant to be made out of.
Probably
Right,
had
I
to
don't
make
think
it pretty quick.
The
Yeah.
cosplayer probably did not spend $25,000 on it.
I think it was 28. And I think for the folks who don't like feel like, wow, what a great wedding dress or whatever, I think part of that comes from the fact that the black elements of it make you feel like it's not a wedding dress. You feel like it's just a standard dress until you get down to the bottom, and then you're like, oh, okay. No, I think it befits her, definitely.
I like, Sal, you brought up what Martha would think about it. Here's my question moving forward. Who's Catwoman going to invite to the wedding? Does Catwoman even have any friends anymore? Because she hasn't had a book in a while.
It's so dark.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess Holly, unless she died. I don't remember. I didn't read it, so I don't know.
She's still wanted for murder and was hanging out with Talia. Then it's like, oh, you have to come back and clear my name, or you don't, or we'll just abandon this storyline. Bye.
Yeah,
Well,
that's exactly
how
what I
many cats
thought.
does she currently have? They'll just fill in the rows. It's fine.
There you go.
Wayne Manor's about to get a lot more crowded.
Yeah, Alfred's about to have to do a lot more vacuuming.
Tom King also can't seem to decide if Gotham City Sirens was a thing or not.
Right.
Well, he had to decide if he wanted to read it or not.
Yeah, that's like someone mentioned Harley and Ivy. I'm like, that would be a fun like throwback.
Yeah. Like,
But Ivy's in therapy right now. She's going off to that Sanctuary book.
do you think Tom King knows that?
He wrote it. He's writing Sanctuary.
Oh,
she'll
thank
just
God.
FaceTime in. It's fine.
Right.
Is there any chance that we're still talking about the Marvel thing?
No,
No,
we were
on
talking
DC.
about Catwoman's wedding dress to lead us into the Batman talks.
Oh, okay, that works then. So at the Batman talks, they pretty much announced the craziness that is Batman for the wedding, issue 50. So we got all the lead up stuff. Now, have you read any of this, Batman fans?
I did not.
Which I assume Tiffany hates Batman. I mean, her clothing just says otherwise, but
Right? I just wear. It's actually, this is technically a Batgirl shirt, but yeah.
that counts. Have you read any of this news though?
No.
A little bit of it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Well, the
Do
first
it up.
part of it is Tom King is going to lead up to it with Batman 45. Booster Gold, now that he is back in DC Rebirth. By the way, can I quickly just say, Booster Gold got the most unceremoniously welcome. He was just there one day. By the way, I'm Booster. You miss me?
Yeah, because I'm the exact same Booster you remember. Moving on.
Right, which makes me be like, how, why, you didn't even, and Superman's like, Booster, we know about you, and I'm just like, since when?
It helps that Jurgens is writing it, and Jurgens is obviously a pretty big booster of Booster
I was
Gold.
gonna say it's the power of his fandom. It makes everybody remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, however, it's still epic that he's back, but he did a Superman story, now he's doing a Batman story, and his wedding gift to Batman is reviving his parents. Now, I have a problem with this.
Several.
Yeah,
The
it's a
Superman
problem.
plot is all about Booster Gold being like, we can't change the history.
Yep.
So to help out Batman, he revives his parents as a wedding gift.
It's nice to know he learned nothing in between two stories.
Well, it's not like Tom King cares at all what Dan Jurgens is doing or is in any way aware of it.
Yeah.
That is that's very inappropriate. Like I get it. Is it permanent? Or is it
No.
going to be like a one-day thing where it's just like you can have them during the wedding?
That's what I'm
and then
hoping it is. I'm hoping it's it was intending it to be a one-day thing and things went off the rails. Because literally, this goes against everything Booster just stated 1,000 times against Superman in the Superman storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, it's yeah.
I'm hoping it was intended to be temporary and it just spiraled out of control, you know? Or maybe it was like, maybe it's one of those things of, this is why you need to be Batman, because you know he's questioning that right now.
Yes.
Something along those lines. You could easily throw a throwaway line in there that fixes this and makes it make sense.
Totally.
Oh.
What?
If he's questioning being Batman, right? It's the whole point of bringing his parents back so that they can die again in front of him. And he's like, no, I have to be Batman.
Oh, the
I feel
Joker
like-
shoots his parents at the wedding.
There's no way that Tom King wouldn't do that. But, like, maybe he might feel like that's kind of too on the nose. I don't know. We'll see.
I would hope so. Because, like, if bringing his parents back, wouldn't that make him be like, oh, cool, everything's right, like, everything's fine now?
Yeah. I can stop.
Real quick,
You need to
somebody's
re-traumatize
asking about, I
Batman.
want to clarify something because one of the individuals in the chat did ask about this. The Damien's true father being Deathstroke storyline, that already resolved as being faked. Like, they've already, like,
Right.
that's not a
Well,
thing.
who didn't
Characters
see that
are
coming?
like, this is literally issue 1. Slade and Bruce are like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was literally. I remember people tweeting to me being like, "Hey, you're getting out of it. Like Damien might be." I'm like, no, they're not gonna undo that for no reason, just to make Chris Priest feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so that's already been confirmed as not a thing. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like the concept of the story sounds great. Batman is not Batman, Joker took over, Dick Grayson became Batman. I love these kind of plots, so I'm on board with the story itself. I also like Booster. And you can't give him all that development, make him like not a reckless time traveler. Even re-represent him as not being reckless, and then go, watch this.
Yes.
Well, if it's anything like Tom King's Poison Ivy story, he'll act out of character for the first 4 issues. Then in the last one, he'll try and circle back and be like, actually, I wasn't like that at all because of reasons.
Yeah.
And then he'll go hang out in Sanctuary.
I know you don't like Tom King, Joel, but that Poison Ivy arc was incredible.
Was it? Was it really, though?
Catwoman beat the Flashes. That
Yes, she
arc,
did.
Oh, yeah, I saw
that
that.
arc's entire purpose was to prove the Comicstorian's point that power scaling is retarded, and basically writers do whatever they want. Tom King wrote that for me.
Right.
So
Right.
maybe
Power scaling is dumb, but don't be obvious about it.
maybe Tom King's doing this because he's like, I got to get all this stuff out before Bendis shows up, and I'm not allowed to do anything anymore.
That's true. That's true.
Fair.
It was not a terrible story. In all honesty, I did enjoy that story. There are obvious problems with the Poison Ivy story,
Yeah.
but I liked it overall. Anyway.
Fair enough.
The next announcement that came out of this was DC Nation number 0, which is by Tom King and Clay Main. DC Nation is going to contain an 8-page Joker story about him and a guy named Roger as they're waiting for the Joker's wedding invitation to the wedding.
Yep.
I really hope it's taken seriously and not just like a joke.
All right.
I would not be surprised. No, I'm sure it'll be taken seriously.
Like he legit wants to know why is he not invited. Yeah.
Well, but like, here's the question: so how does Joker know that he's not invited? Like,
Yeah, it's
is
not
it
like
a
they're gonna
bat
put it
wedding?
on the paper.
Like, will Batman get married on the steps of the Hall of Justice? Or is it like a Bruce Wayne wedding where Joker shouldn't know or care?
Everyone in the chat over on Twitch is stating that Roger's dead. I don't see any confirmation of that in the story I'm reading, but I didn't watch the actual panel. I'm looking at the notes. So
No, it's true.
Yeah,
because not every no.
I don't watch every panel, guys. I read the notes afterwards.
Yeah.
More on Batman spoilers and DC Nation's over here. Hold on, let me click the other one to see if it says that Roger. By the way, DC Nations is from this cover art about Batman, Booster Gold, and Catwoman, the Ultimate. Oh, it's just more of the same stuff. Just panels. Holy crap! It's spoiler panels for the future with no Batman.
Right.
Okay, I mean, they took all the words out, but Hal Jordan's got his ring and he blows his brains out with it.
Yes. Yeah. Because he's like infected by the Joker in some way.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. And then we got that's I don't care. No, Roger's not dead. The panel they revealed here, it's a dude sitting next to Joker. Now, if it revealed in the ending he's dead, you spoiled something that we don't even have yet.
Maybe he was dead all along.
He is quite. I want to link you this. He is quite obviously alive and looking at the Joker and moving his head. I'm just saying, wherever you heard that, if it's a giant spoiler, it's a giant spoiler for the ending. But it's not the way they're portraying it.
Right.
Okay.
Did you read King's philosophy on the Joker for the
I would
panel?
like to know it. I've not heard it, no.
He said, I worked with Joker a little bit in Jokes and Riddles, but this is a modern Joker. Joker's not like any other character in fiction because he doesn't have motivations. He doesn't care what he's doing. You could write a 12-issue series where he wants to get an egg the whole time, and he gets to the end of it and says, I don't want this egg.
That would be great. I want to read Tom King writing a story about the Joker getting the egg.
He did. It's called War of Jokes and Riddles. Like that literally is just a perfect summary of what it was like to read the War of Jokes and Riddles. Joker wants to do something, and then you could read all freaking 12 issues, then it turns out, nah.
The problem is most of his characters are written like that.
Yeah. You could also, Tom King, do a story in which the Joker is desperately suicidal, and then this really strong, physically strong woman shows up, and she helps guide him towards his path of realizing that he doesn't want to kill himself. Oh, wait, no. Did I just copy every one of your stories?
Anyway, we got to keep moving because this episode's going on for a while. We're already at 4:50 my time, which is bringing us closer to the end of it. So anyway, moving on. They did spoilers for White Knight 7, which, am I wrong? This White Knight 7 came out like right before C2E2.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they assumed you hadn't read it because you were so excited for C2E2.
Okay, let's go with that.
You just forgot it.
And not going.
We'll go ahead and do that then, I guess. I don't know.
Speaking of an
Batman
awesome
Prelude to the
Batman
Wedding is Tim Seeley. It's going to be what if the villain showed up at the reception. Seeley describes the story. Bat family's reacting emotionally to the wedding while bumping into numerous villains. King and Man also slipped in a double date storyline by Dan Dido. The last part is about Harley Quinn going after Joker. She's unhappy that he wants to destroy a good relationship.
All right, well, that sounds fun.
That's fine.
Seeley, I'm on board.
Fits with what they've been doing with Harley, trying to,
with
this Harley.
I like what they're doing with Harley. I like that she's becoming a character in her own right.
I agree. I'm just saying that actually fits. Like, it's not like they're regressing her.
Yes.
Because he's back, or whatever.
Batman 50 is going to apparently be the actual wedding issue. And they've got artists. Everyone who has worked on the book will be there. They named Frank Miller and Jim Lee, and then others.
Well, okay. I hope Scott Snyder's on there.
I'm just saying, Frank Miller, Jim Lee, and others.
And others.
That's a hard gap between Frank Miller and Jim Lee. I hope those pages don't follow each other.
Could you imagine that? You go from Jim Lee, like pseudo manga style, clean and crisp, and then you just got Frank Miller. Let's get married.
You're like, okay, Catwoman looked really good before. This is no.
Yeah.
What happened to their spines?
Okay, and then the final part of that announcement was that we are finally getting another Catwoman series following her wedding. It will pick up on sale in July, so it'll be right after the wedding. I'm kind of excited about that because the art panel that they showed, the cover art, looks really good. I have no idea who Joelle Jones is, though.
She designed the dress.
Okay, I know that, but like, what else? is that all she did? Her entire career in comic books.
I feel like I've seen their art before, and I'll have to pull it up. But like,
This is good.
It's not always good when the artist gets to write the story, though.
Oh yeah. Depends. Some of them are good.
I've never heard of her. Who is she?
she's done a bunch of work.
She wrote
I'm trying to pull it up. But
a Lady Killer arc. She drew a lot of covers.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any writing work. Just artwork.
Yeah, I've heard of her more as an artist than as a writer.
But she's
This is
listed
hilarious.
yeah.
I'm going to her Wikipedia and it's like, nope, you can't go to
like, she's got nothing. She
Fresh
just,
young talent then.
I don't see
Apparently
anything with writing. I just see
Apparently,
artwork.
she wrote Lady Killer, according to one of the someone in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple people in the chat.
I haven't even heard of Lady Killer. What is Lady Killer?
Someone says
Comic Vine will fix this for me. Here
Thanks,
we go.
Comic Vine.
nice.
Thank you. Let's see here. She did the Mockingbird book.
Did she
she
write
did,
it though? Because what I
No,
read says that she just did the covers.
Yeah, she did the covers during the Ask Me About My Feminist Agenda series.
Right.
She did the covers for the 2016 series.
Huh. Could be interesting or bad. I mean, if she's known for doing Mockingbird, Feminist Agenda covers, and she's known for this book called Lady Killers, I assume having a strong female hero as your lead could work. I mean, it's not like you gave her someone that wouldn't fit. Catwoman is not exactly known for being a pushover female character.
No.
It's also been forever since she's had an ongoing series, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's been since New 52.
Yeah. She sat out the whole, DC Rebirth era
She did
until
sit out
right now.
DCU. They ended it with her becoming like the gang leader and all that stuff.
That's right.
And
Which
my
I actually
wife,
enjoy.
Natalie, she loves Catwoman. She dropped the book when she became she didn't even wear the outfit anymore. She was just like, I'm in a
She
suit.
did.
And I'm
No, I don't
was-
care for that idea.
That was the one time I was reading it where it became like Goodfellas of Gotham. It's like I will unite all the families. Right at the
Exactly.
same time, Black Cat was a gang lord in Marvel, but Catwoman dropped it first.
But
That was like friggin'
Catwoman,
Armageddon
I didn't
even
mind
back.
Catwoman until that. Once that dropped, I was like, no, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
I've seen the cover to some of these Lady Killer books. I was looking at her website. I'm like, yeah. All right. It's like a 50s style. Anyway, go on.
So, okay, yeah, no, that's the news. That's the big Batman news.
Right.
Now, okay, so they mentioned the Three Jokers. It was stated that there is a Three Jokers storyline in the works, okay? Here's the Q&A time. Will David Finch be back? He has a couple of pages in issue 50. Cool. Will we see Three Jokers? Yes, there are plans for that in the works. I looked deeper into that. There is no confirmation on the date, but it is apparently a Jeff Johns, Jason Fobach book that is coming out to tie into what happened in Darkseid War. I feel like Jeff Johns might have too much on his plate at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing Doomsday Clock. He's doing like, it kind of makes sense that Scott Snyder took over from Metal and then League now. Then if he's doing all these crazy stories,
Right, absolutely.
will they one more day us? What happens in the Booster Gold story comic book is not in continuity. They must be referring to the future. Like,
Yeah.
it's like people arguing that the Deathstroke versus Batman series is not in continuity. I'm like, well, if that's the case, they went to a lot of trouble to make it in continuity. If you read the way it leads in.
Yeah.
It is, but it also completely jumps from the end of the previous Deathstroke thing where he's in an asylum and he thinks he's crazy, only to be like, no, I'm actually fine now as of issue 30. This takes place before.
Yeah.
Will there be more Murphyverse? Sean is a Batman purist. He doesn't see including Superman and other characters that would appear. Oh, but other characters may appear. Oh, so they're just saying, do we... I don't see how you could fit Superman into that universe, because that universe isn't far from the main universe, so...
Yeah, you could fit it like in the White Knight universe. You mean? Like
Yeah, that's the Murphyverse.
Yeah, you could fit them. You could make it work. It would detract from the purely Batman story you're doing, I think. Especially if Sean Gordon Murphy has said he doesn't want to do it. Like, if he doesn't want to do it, then don't make him do it, just to make it part of a universe. But you can do that. Like, Superman works in a Batman universe. He's a key character if he's used properly and if the writer knows what to do with him, like to set him against Batman. And I don't mean like necessarily versus Batman. I just mean against the Batman character. But that's fine.
Here's
Like,
a question that you might
White
know,
Knight's
Sal.
so
'cause
good.
You're,
You don't
you're
need
as,
it.
you're as big of a Batman fan as I am. The next question is will Selena's daughter show up to the wedding? That's not in continuity right now, is it?
No. Helena Wayne does not exist.
No, not Helena Wayne. Or Helena Wayne. The other one that they had this whole other plot of her having a daughter that went missing, kind of a thing. That wasn't in New 52. That was prior to New 52, wasn't it?
I don't know much about the Catwoman daughter outside of like Earth 2's stuff, but I certainly hope not.
According to this, Tom King says that the guest list is one of the biggest secrets in comics right now.
Oh, wow.
That's
So I'm
interesting.
sure there will be a big surprise. And it could be that, like, because here's the thing. If they don't plan on killing off Catwoman or ending the marriage immediately when it starts or having, like, the wedding take place and then having Catwoman die at the end of it or whatever, like, if they plan on doing a married Batman, having Catwoman, like, integrated into the Bat family directly and deliberately, having her live in Wayne Manor and having her sit against Alfred and stuff, like, I feel like then they might just bring in the daughter. Because
Well,
then they're
you
like,
know that
no,
this is planned already.
part of the family. I'm sorry?
This isn't ending immediately. This is a 100
I
issue
know
run.
it's not ending. I know that they're. Tom King wants to write 100 issues. We'll see how many they let him if the sales go down.
Well, the next question is, how does Tom King approach writing a 100 issue series? So, so it's still,
Right.
He's on it for 100 issues, unless, like you said, it tanks. You know, like
Right. And it's not going to tank. It's just more like, will the numbers keep going down? And because there's no shortage of amazing writers at DC or anywhere
They have
in the
all
comic
of
book
them
industry, right? Who would love to write Batman?
it's
So-
like who do they not have? Just Jason Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't have. And Nick Spencer.
Yeah.
And Mick Millar, but Mark Millar.
Yeah.
But he's got.
He said he's not going to write for either of them, which is
No,
fine.
he's
with
he writes in
everybody
his own
in the entire
Millerverse.
world.
Yeah, he's got his
Knock
own thing
yourself
going on.
out, Mark. Stay as long as you want.
I love
away from everything
sidebar.
we do.
Sidebar, because you were a part of that tweet, Shane. There's this guy that loves to tweet us thinking that he's won some kind of fight. Like, Marvel's shipped more than DC, and there's 1,000 arguments about whatever. But one of the other fans jumped in with the comment of, yeah, but Marvel's losing all the writers. And his response was, no, they're just losing all the old comic writers. All the hot new talent is coming to Marvel. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I'll take like a Bendis and a Mark Millar, and I'll take the guys before any hot new indie talent. I don't care who you're looking. I'll take all the old guys.
Exactly.
That I mean, I've often said that on this show where it's like, yeah, they're banking on the future, but they're also banking on the same 5 guys for everything.
Hickman, they don't have Hickman yet either. I heard a rumor. Rob told me this one. I don't know how true it is, but Hickman wanted to come to DC, but everything that he wanted, Jeff Johns had tied up in Doomsday Clock and wouldn't give him.
That's right. That's a true.
That sounds about right.
That's exactly what happened.
Apparently, Hickman wanted like JSA and like he wanted all these characters that Jeff Johns wants.
That's absolutely true.
Oh,
And
are you just saying that like, oh, I believe that, or are you saying that like I have confirmation?
Wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink is all I'll say. I can't. I won't divulge my sources, but let's just say that's absolutely true.
I believe it.
Yeah, I'll be fine. So
Are they going to install your stuff?
Yeah, well, that's what they keep poking their head in for the installation. So we do have to start winding this down. Okay, so that's where we are. We got the 100 issue. What other looks would the panel be for the characters? They drew the date night. What other? King says that he's an artist writer. If you make artists happy, they draw you great things. The best way to make comics is to hire the right people. Tim Seeley says that he's still awful to his artist, even though he's primarily an artist for many years. Tom King admits that he's a crappy artist. He loved working on Lee Works and Elmer Fudd versus Batman. Lee Weeks will be back for issues 51 and 52. That was the guy who did the art for the Elmer Fudd thing, which was amazing.
Yeah, Lee Weeks rocks. He also drew the Convergence Superman book that everybody enjoyed.
Oh, that was a really nice looking one.
And King says the secret of comics is to take what's absurd and make it the heart of the comic. I'll give him that. That's what he does.
Yep.
Fight me.
No doubt about it.
I love, on this podcast alone, we have Tom King's run is so divisive of Batman fans.
Yeah. It really is. Like, because it's like once you pick apart the formula, you're like, oh, okay. I won't go further. Just leave
Wasn't there a Justice League panel as well? You were mentioning
Yes,
Justice
there
League
was. Well, it was interesting. It was not just a panel. It was like you could go to the free panel, but if you paid like $150, you could go to the secret panel, where they'll just tell Bleeding Cool everything that they told you, and you wait an hour, and now you know everything that happened for free. And so here it is. So here's all the stuff that was told
I
about.
have to go. Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, you
All right,
can
take
go
it.
ahead. I'll be back. 2 seconds.
All right. According
Please do.
to Scott Snyder, who said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to spoil everything." The whole impetus behind No Justice is that the Green Lantern Corps goes out to the source wall and goes like, "So what's going on with this big hole that was knocked into it thanks to Dark Knight's metal?" And basically that like it's like leaking toxicity, so they try to close it. But what happens is a few things spring out of it before they are able to do so, which includes the likes of Yuga Khan.
So we were right about that.
So now we know why Darkseid is on the Justice League. It's to defeat his own father.
I hate you, Dad.
Yes. We also so basically the leaking. Okay, now that Betty's back, I'll repeat myself.
Okay, back.
The leaking source wall is going to be the major plot reasons for everything happening in the Justice League books. So like
Well, I
Yuga
kind of
Khan,
assumed that.
Yuga Khan springs out of the leaking source wall. Those
That
who
explains Darkseid.
Yes, that's why he's on the Justice League now. Those who created magic are now going to come to Earth to reclaim it. So you're going to have basically Jason Aaron's Death of Magic in the DC universe.
Works for me.
You're also going to be getting the Green Lanterns are going to be trying to plug the hole in the source wall, and characters like those from Justice League 1 Million are also going to be coming out of the woodworking, and the Monitor will also be making an appearance.
Of course.
So like basically, Snyder wants to make all of the DC books he writes feel like the last issue of Dark Knight's Metal.
I'm not against that because it feels like we're going from one epic event right into the next one.
He wants it to not even be like each one's an event, but more like the DC universe got huge and everything is all connected and part of this one big thing. And it's not necessarily like Hickman where it's like building towards this big thing. It's more like everything just got bigger. Like, the Batcave became, Planet Bat. And so we got to deal with that. Like, it's that kind of thing. So
how long until Superboy Prime or Empirix and any of that other stuff that people have been clamoring for since forever?
I feel like that'll happen pretty much immediately. Like, I theorize that like if the Monitor and like Yuga Khan and DC 1 Million are coming out of the source wall, there's no freaking way they're going to waste the potential of Superboy Prime, which I don't really believe has a lot of potential.
No.
But I do believe that like I'd say 25,000 people will buy it.
Oh, it'll move some books.
So like boom.
I think Superboy Prime, as much as everyone wants to see him come, I think he's done. Because there's so much explanation that you need to do for that character to make any sense at this point. It's not like he was a thing a year ago or 2 years ago. We're talking, we haven't seen him since Final Crisis or even before then.
Was he even in Final Crisis?
I don't think he was in Final Crisis. So that's 2008.
Yeah.
So, like, the only way that we'd ever get a Superboy Prime is they would have to dummy down his origins in its entirety. Yeah. And then it wouldn't be Superboy Prime anymore. It would just be an overpowered other Superman.
Well, Scott Snyder can just like have him show up and not give any context for who he is. Like when Daniel Hall showed up in Dark Knight's Metal, or when the Monitor was just the guy in the chair, like he wasn't supposed to be. Like all these different characters that like just kind of
that was the Over Monitor.
I'm sorry, the Over Monitor. Yes, I'm sorry. I meant the Over Monitor. But yes, but there's all kinds of stuff that Scott Snyder's like, I just want to see that happen. And I don't care if nobody knows who he is. I mean, for God's sake, Dark Knight Returns Batman shows up at the end of Dark Knight's Metal for a single page and then doesn't do anything.
Yep.
They're saying he wasn't a tie-in for Final Crisis, so I was right about that.
I'm shocked.
Was Final Crisis or Blackest Night first? Oh. He was also in Blackest Night.
He was in Blackest Night, but that took place like right before Final Crisis, I think.
They were weirdly tied in, so.
They were, so yeah. Either way, they referenced him. Like, they weren't afraid to deal with him even up until Final Crisis.
Yeah.
So yeah. You'll see. I think you will see him. I think he will show up, but he'll show up the same way that like. Remember when in the 90s when Cyborg Superman was created, he was a big deal, and then each time he showed up, they were like, "Oh shit, Cyborg Superman," and they kept having to explain who he was.
Yes.
Yep. And then like remember after DC Rebirth when Cyborg Superman showed up, and they were like. Whatever, and they didn't even bother. They were just like, it's just cool. Here he is, and he's dressed like he was in the 90s. I think that's exactly how Superboy Prime will appear. It'll just be like, It'll be a full-page image of Superboy Prime showing up. If you know who he is, you'll know all the backstory. If you don't know who he is, someone in the book will say, "Who the hell's that?" And someone will go, "Long story," and then they'll have to deal with it.
and then people will come to channels like ours and listen to shows like ours to find out the backstory.
Who is Superboy Prime? Or like, how powerful is Superboy Prime? You know, and it'll be a nice little flash in the pan for our channels moving on.
There you go. Thanks, Scott Snyder.
So,
Yeah.
is there any other Marvel news to cover or anything else major then? Before
No.
I didn't think
Marvel news. There's the biggest superhero movie of all time will come out in 2 weeks.
I feel like that's why Marvel's not doing anything. Like all the comics, everything. They've got that and then Deadpool. Like think about this for a second. You have Infinity War and Deadpool 2 within 3 weeks of each other. They know they're so big. They moved Infinity War. Deadpool didn't move. Infinity War moved.
Yeah. Now that said, I feel like if you know, we always talk about like when's Disney going to get involved? When's Disney going to tell Marvel what to do? I think this is when they did it. I think they were like, Infinity War's the push. Don't do anything big at all until it's over.
Yep. Don't screw anything up. Don't say anything. Just put books out and
just put books out. You know, put a gag order on every single writer that works for you, so they can shut up and don't ruin everything for us. Yeah. Like, so no one says anything controversial. Just literally everybody shut up and put out your regularly scheduled comics. No big moments. Like the Dan Slott thing. When does Amazing 800 come out? I think it's after Infinity War, so I think we're okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So like even that will not detract from Infinity War. Like that's it.
The chat's bringing up Action Comics 1000. I don't think anything new was said about Action Comics 1000.
No, it's coming out on the 18th. We're all excited.
Yeah, no, we're excited. But I mean, I know they had a panel for it, but I don't think it was any new information.
No, I think they probably just put all the writers who were working on it in some way in a big list.
And just talked a little about his new villain.
And it doesn't mention anything new.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for that
Chris.
subscription. 8 months in a row, a.k.a. Chris. You just said it, Sal. Yeah.
Oh, no. Take it. Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure we got it.
I'm not seeing any. It was a panel with Bendis, and they talked about it, but like there was no new news. They just talked about Superman and writing and stuff.
So
like that.
weird having Bendis sitting on Superman
I
panels
know.
now.
We are in the other universe now. We are in Bizarro world.
I like how Bendis made a comment. He's like, yeah, DC and Marvel were great, letting me finish my books in Marvel before going to DC. I'm like, do you really think that was even like Bendis? Like, well, I have to finish my Marvel books. Okay, done. Like,
Go for it.
Yeah. Can you imagine DC being like, no,
you got to come now.
You can't finish Jessica Jones. Like what? No. That said, they talked about like where Bendis is going to go from there. It's going to be like a newspaper drama. I mean, all right, cool.
From what I will say this, from what Bendis has said about what he intends to do, I'm not excited. Like nothing about his run strikes me as holy crap. Bendis is writing Superman. I can't wait to be reading that. Nothing.
No, it's just gonna like. Here's the thing. You know who's gonna be a new breakout character? Whoever Jimmy Olsen is sleeping with. Like,
there you go.
Because he will do like Bendis will make you like really care about like Perry White at home, and Bendis will make like Jimmy Olsen very engaging.
That's what I don't care about though. Like he's
right now,
I
everyone's
do. Freaking
so
out.
Same. But it's gonna be boring for those people who want to see Bendis like make Superman punch somebody.
But if you like sharp dialogue.
Yeah, but it's gonna be really sharp. It's gonna be like the best. You're gonna see a lot of scenes where like Superman's sitting at a table talking to other interesting characters for like 18 pages, and then the book's over, and you're like, it took me 4 minutes to read this though.
I mean,
that's exactly what you're gonna say.
I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. It's not going to be interesting, but nothing that I've heard about that makes me excited for Bendis to be on the book right now.
No, I would if Bendis were writing Batman, I'd be like, I don't care if they haven't said anything about it, I can't wait.
Yes, exactly. Like, what is he going to do with Batman? But Superman, I don't know. I'm a Superman fan. I'm literally wearing a Krypton shirt. I mean,
yeah, right?
I have the same one.
I know. They sent it. They sent you the Krypton package. Yeah.
I have a different one.
Which house are you guys? I'm
the House of Vex.
Oh. What are you?
Also L.
God, I gotta go change families now.
I wish I got Zod.
Shut up, Joel.
Right?
That would have been great if you got Zod.
I would have loved that so much. Kneel before me.
At least we didn't get Vex. I mean, come on. The name literally means to annoyed.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Anyway, I think that's pretty much
me.
all the news we have to talk about today. Anybody else got anything else? So otherwise, I got to go get my security done.
No. I'm good. Tiffany, anything?
I'm good.
Yeah. Cool.
I got nothing.
Riveting.
When we get done, I'm gonna go play Overwatch.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, is the new event start?
Uh-huh.
Why don't we have like a weekly pull Overwatch stream after this? Joel, you got Overwatch?
I do, but
Shut
I
up, Joel, and we'll see you next time right here at the weekly
Motherfucker.
pull.
Every goddamn time.